your pictures.
I know. Well, you know, I don't even have the whole list. Okay, part of it is this is a list for the party. Hello, this is Notaspringchick, and this is the Golden Globes after parties that we're going to be talking about. And I am so wound up about it because, oh, actually, it happened, and I was so wound up about it because I actually was able to go to the Golden Globes after parties. Yes, and yeah. I mean, you would be excited too.
And she went as a guest, not as press.
Yes, and part of it was there was a little bit of a debate beforehand about going and not going. Had some friends that were going, didn't decide to go. I met with the other friends, and I have to tell you, I had an unbelievable time because the Golden Globes, they've always been known for, well, there's always been a lot of parties around any of these award shows, but the Golden Globes especially because there's so many parties going on in one place. Now, thanks to the Hollywood Reporter, they put out this thing. It says 7 bashes, 5 hours, everything you need to know about all the Hilton hotspots on January 16th. There are a few other places where there's Golden Globe parties, but the main spot is the Hilton, where it's literally, you go from party to party. I mean, talk about... Okay, here's a cool part. Oh, also thanks to, okay, this absolutely gorgeous scarf that I have right here, I did bring, because you never know if you're going to get cold or where you're inside or outside. This is by Christian Auger, which I love. These shoes right here that you're going to see, these are by a company called Melissa, who you might have seen them in Kitson or Fred Siegel or something like that. And, oh, I just love, look at these.
It was timing with the shoes.
I know, I just got them from a gifting suite from the Secret Room events, and I'd seen this company before for their shoes, and I've always absolutely loved them. And so, yes, it was the first opportunity. And they just happened to work so well with the dress, and I loved it with the red stripe. And, of course, as many of you know, nude is the in color right now, actually for spring. And it was actually seen a lot on the carpet for the Golden Globes, too. Part of it is I didn't really get to see much about the show because I was busy getting ready and then going and waiting for the parties to start.
Yeah. Well, I understand that you've got to be there considerably in advance just to get parking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, part of it is figuring out, okay, for parking, because I know that there's a shuttle over there, there's a drop-off spot. This is not where you're actually going to, let's say, drive up and valet it or do self-parking. No, you don't even count on that. Some of my friends, they had a driver, so that worked out magnificent. The others had the hotel bring them over, or I guess there's street parking too. So you know, there's a lot of different options for you. But when you first when you first get there, okay, you first get there, and there's a drop-off area. They have made it because there's so many parties going on all over the place. There's one location for drop-off and pickup. Okay, one location. You know what that means? Yeah. You can imagine. It means bottleneck.
Yep.
Okay? But that means, and they don't have a lot of paparazzi over there, anybody that they kind of shoo them away, because there's actually the Golden Globe Award press, and, you know, I walk by the press rooms where people are sitting there working and, you know, watching on the show. There's a different area where, you know, they're coming in and everybody's looking at them. But this is like the people, the rivals. There was a few of them there while I was standing, because, you know, I was waiting for my friends to come pick me up, so they let me stand over there and take a look for a few minutes till they came. And so I did see Paris Hilton arrive. That was really kind of cool because I had just been at her house the night before. So, yes, Paris Hilton, 2 days in a row. So it was really kind of cool. And that was for the wrap-up of the movie Silver Case. So we actually had, I mean, that was really cool. And she looked so elegant. And she was wearing, like I said, the color nude. Yes, she was wearing a nude colored dress with rhinestones, and sequins, of course, were a huge deal. Now, actually, I don't ever remember sequins being such a big deal on the carpet as they have been on the past. But that was really kind of cool. So you're standing outside, they're waiting to get in, and you're watching everybody, you know, go back and forth. And, you know, here's the cool part is you get to see all the rivals of these people. Some of them you have no clue who they are, and some of them you recognize. The easiest way to notice, of course, the celebrities is they come, you can kind of tell when they come, you know, because there's other people get that dropped off, but they get dropped off in a limo, they're opening the door, and they look like they were on the red carpet, because this is very much an event where people dress up for. Yeah, of course they do. And so you come in through the one area, and here's the amazing part. You're in the Hilton, and you see the sign. And I took a picture of the sign. And there's a sign that has arrows pointing, and it has all these different parties and tells you which direction to go for which of the parties. Because when you get there, okay, there, like I said, the parties were InStyle, Warner Brothers, Fox, NBC Universal, Focus Features, AMC Sundance Channel, Relatively Media, Weinstein Company, Sony Pictures Entertainment, HBO. Let's see, hold up. Oh, actually, they had some of the other ones. Yeah, and they had some parties on, oh, yeah, Saturday night pre-parties, right, for Paramount, Sony, and Disney. So, oh.
If she didn't know about so.
Well, no, and so I mean, part of it is, this is one thing you can be assured of, is that you're going to be waiting and standing, and there's a lot of people. Part of it is some of them you recognize and some of them you don't. So when we first got in there, my friend Vincent DePaul, he brought me in there. We saw some of his friends. We saw Mila
Jovovich.
Yes. I always, Jovovich. Okay. So we saw her. She looked beautiful and elegant, of course, in another nude color dress. And she looked gorgeous. I mean, she looked like a model. Of course, many of them look like models that are at this. And she was beautiful. Now, one of the things that I did notice, well, I met her. I didn't even know it was her first, because I was stepping on her dress. Not intentionally. It's just that it's very, very crowded, and these women are all in gowns with trains.
And young ladies are not trained to handle gowns with trains like they were in my era.
And people are walking so close to each other, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's like, go walk further. Right? Go walk further.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're all, unlike Notaspringchick, they're all borrowed gowns.
Yeah, I mean, well, fortunately, my gown, I was not borrowed. I know, I was sitting there thinking about, I'm like, most of them have all borrowed gowns and they're stepping all over them.
Yeah, but and people can understand. They did spill on Notaspringchick's dress, folks. Mm-hmm. And it's maybe noticeable or not. But
well, part of it is when you go to these events and there's a lot of people. Something's gonna get spilled.
And they can't afford to have them. I mean, I can guarantee you there was an actress a couple of years ago that borrowed earrings to wear and a necklace. She lost one of her earrings, and in the middle of the room, she's taking all her clothes off because my husband said, if I have to get stark naked, because we can't afford the $300,000 for the earrings. So you can't afford to damage what you're wearing.
Right. And they say 7 parties, 5 hours. I will tell you, most of it lasted until about midnight.
Yeah.
And well, actually like 12:30. We were hoping that they would go longer. Well, because you're all wound up when you're going, because there's a lot of waiting. So you're running into people, because I'm with 2 friends that are actors and actresses, and they know people, and you're running into people, and you're saying hi, and you're taking pictures, and you're going from one party to the next. We had people waiting at the NBC Universal party. We were going over to the HBO, and so they said, oh, let's walk through the red carpet. So, of course, you go through this really long carpet. It's mainly all photographers, and then there's companies like Access Hollywood and Fox News Channel and companies like that are standing by there to interview them. And I was just sitting there going, and part of it is there are so many different parties going on in the same location that you got to kind of choose what party you're covering. It's not like you go, if you're a media, you can't go from one party and then go to the next.
You're fixed.
You're just kind of fixed because the celebrities are going from one party to the next.
Because
right?
we ran into that once where I ended up helping the people in the back set up the lights because the people that were supposed to be setting up the lights were at another event. So.
So, I mean, that happens. But the first party that I went to was the Relativity Media Weinstein Company. And I will tell you, part of it is we stayed at that party longer than we probably would have because, first of all, I wasn't quite sure. There's a lot of waiting that goes on. And there's a lot of waiting because, especially if you're with a group of people, you don't all end up staying together because you're walking in and, you see somebody and you start talking to them and the other people keep going because they didn't realize that you had stopped. Or vice versa.
That's her naturally, folks.
But here's a cool point. Okay, so of course they give you these little wristbands to wear too for these things. So of course there was a photo booth which you didn't get till the end of the time, but you know, it says Marie Claire, Golden Globes 2011, and Laura Mercier. So it's kind of cool having the photo booth. So we came down from the red carpet, you go onto the area, you know, where everybody's just kind of like figuring out where they're going, and then there's the photo booth, and then you walk into the party, and it's in 2 gigantic rooms. Now, here's a really cool part. It's like everybody's relaxed, and the people that came in there, it's like, first of all, how do you choose which party to go to? Because there's all these parties, right? And so you're trying to figure out which one's the best one to go to. Well, the best one always is, of course, the one you can get into first, right? Yeah. Then you go to that one, and then the next one you can go into, and you can make your, you know, decision which ones to go to. But it was so cool. I saw Michael Douglas there with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I wanted to go up and say hi, but I didn't. It's like, he looks so good. I hadn't seen him look that good in...
He looks like he did back in the streets of San Francisco, trim and good looking again.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I mean, he just looked really good, and I just didn't want to bother him, and Catherine Zeta-Jones looked absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I said she was ultimately hot that night.
Oh, she was just, you know... But she had to feel so good and happy because he looked good and was happy, right? You know, and so anyway, it was just so good to see him there. And then one of my other friends, Meredith, we had started, you know, well, we had kind of connected because we went to the bathroom, and so then when we came back, I lost 2 of the other girls I was with because, well, I stopped to visit with this new friend that I met, Brandy, who was there with Laura Mercier, and she was there backstage over there by the bathroom, and they had this area set up for people for touch-up of their makeup that were there at the party, which is really kind of a nice treat. So it was just nice. So, you know, they did a little bit of touch-up, and made me look better for pictures, and we went back in, and so then we saw, you ready for this? Okay, we did see Ryan Felipe, who she had to go meet because she was a big fan of.
I understand you got a picture with him?
Yes, with Ryan Felipe. Yeah. We saw Matt Damon.
Of which you got a picture with?
Uh-huh. Jimmy Jean-Louis.
Which you got a picture with?
Well,
we've interviewed him many times before.
I know, so it was cool seeing him. I've interviewed him several times when we were talking about the new projects he's coming up and what he's doing, and different things like that. So it was, you know, part of it is you've seen some of these people, and it's just great to reconnect with them and say hi and see them in a different kind of situation, because we've always had kind of fun with them. And so Quentin Tarantino, who actually was personal friends with one of my friends that was there, right? So they were having a good time just kind of catching up, and Quentin was Quentin, and I know, and you know what's fun is watching all of the celebrities, because you always wonder, it's like, well, how does one celebrity meet another celebrity? Well, they meet him at events like this.
Well, a lot of them, afraid. I do remember going to a thing a long time ago, and Cary Grant was there, and Cary Grant could be very shy, and he wanted to meet one of the other actors he'd always admired, and he's asking very sheep, could you introduce me? Yeah, that was... And
they are like that. I mean, let's see, we saw Matt Damon in that area, Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony.
Yep.
Were there, Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It was Matt Damon and his wife, Bruce Willis and his wife.
Yeah.
The wives were very close to their husbands.
Yeah, because that's how you lose husbands, is in events like that.
See, Bruce Willis, Jeffrey Rush.
Oh, yeah. You got a picture of Jeffrey, the bald-headed Jeffrey Rush.
I know. I didn't even recognize him at first. Kevin Bacon, Kira Sedgwick. Let's see who else. Colin Firth.
Who you also got a picture with.
Yes, and we got a picture of him with the Globes. Unfortunately, when we took a picture with the Globes, with a whole group of us when we were leaving, somebody else used the camera and they didn't quite focus it. So we've got a very blurry picture of all of us with Colin Firth.
Yeah, so we'll work on that one in the processing.
So we just kind of, that just kind of...
But what it is stars taking pictures of stars.
And they're all
because they really do.
And they get to meet each other and chat, and it's kind of, I mean, part of it is it's really kind of busy and everybody's kind of like this, but they section off and they start talking to each other. And it's really kind of cool to see them sitting there. I mean, I saw Jeffrey Rush sitting there talking with Bruce Willis, and, they were just having a good time visiting.
And most of them never met one another. Mm-hmm. All they know is they know of them and they've seen their work, but you'd be surprised how many people in this business have never met one another, and they've worked on the same movies.
Yeah. And so I kind of stayed in one kind of general area most of the time because it seemed like there were a lot of people coming around in that one area.
Yeah, because she was in this dress.
Well, you know,
which was the hottie of the night, as I understand.
I love this dress.
Yeah.
Well, you know, part of it is I had picked this dress up before because I love the dress, and I decided to wear it for that. And there are other people, you know, a lot of times they do borrow dresses. I had spoken with one of the publicists where she didn't feel comfortable in the dress and she didn't feel comfortable in the shoes. So with that combination, you're not very comfortable all night.
And they should. We know a PR person at an event that had shoes that were wrong, and all she wanted to do was to get those shoes off, and it showed in everything she was doing.
And yeah, it does. It makes you lose your focus, and you know. But I was having a great time. You know, and it was. And then Meredith was with us, and I lost Meredith because she found Elijah Wood. It's like one of the times when we took a corner and she kept going, and it's like I never saw her again.
Yeah.
And Vincent told me, "Oh yeah."